Hey ACA, Executive Vice President Cody Burkham here with you to give you the first of what we hope to be many legislative updates throughout the session. I plan on trying to do these every Friday afternoon, and we'll put them out on Facebook for all our membership and the public to see what's going on down at the Capitol, what we're keeping an eye on, and what we're doing for the cattle producers of Arkansas. As many of you may know, Monday, January the 14th, the Arkansas General Assembly met and convened for the first time for the 92nd General Assembly. They met at 12 o'clock, where all 100 representatives were sworn in, as well as the returning senators that were freshly re-elected or elected in their new positions. Just kind of a unique fact about the 92nd General Assembly this year, there will be 32 women that will actually be serving in the legislature, that tying a record from 2009. So 32 out of 135, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 27%, I believe, somewhere in there. So, you know, definitely have seen some gains by our women legislatures in the General Assembly. Tuesday, January 15th, the governor, Asa Hutchinson, was sworn in to begin his second term, his second and final four-year term, along with all the state constitutional officers such as Lieutenant Governor, Land Commissioner, Secretary of State, State Treasurer, State Auditor. Those were all sworn in as well. When the governor addressed the General Assembly in his inauguration speech, he talked about a couple of his priorities for this legislative session, which were very interesting to listen to. One of those being the government transformation plan. The governor has there's legislation that will be going through that will pare down the current bureaucratic structure of the Arkansas bureaucracy from about 45 department heads down to about 15 or so. So a pretty large reduction in the size of the state bureaucracy there. The next thing he talked about was his 2459 plan, and this is a tax plan where they hope to simplify the tax structure and lower the tax structure for Arkansans, going to from 2% for those who earn up to $8,000 a year, 4% for those who earn between $8,000 and $18,000 a year, and 5.9% for those above $18,000 a year. So we should see, you know, if this plan were to pass, they're hoping that, you know, we'll see a pretty large tax decrease across the board for everybody in Arkansas. He also mentioned pay raises for teachers. You know, Arkansas struggles with getting qualified teachers and then keeping them, not losing them to surrounding states such as Texas. He wants to make the pay raise for teachers, you know, to where we can stay competitive in those areas. He also mentioned infrastructure improvements. We all know that that could be a big issue this year. Don't know exactly what the plan is to pay for those. There's been some ideas kicked around about possibly increasing the gas tax, and so just that'll be certainly something that we'll be looking at, and the legislature will be looking at this session as well. Wednesday, January 16th, the real work really started. We dove in, the committees dove into some of their work. The Agriculture, Forestry, and Economic Development Committee met at 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, and usually most of the time the first committee meetings are just organizational meetings where they just introduce members and kind of get used to the committee, but the Ag Committee hit the ground running, and where they took up a bill, HB 1124 by Representative Deanne Vaught of District 4, that allows for the creation of a veterinary technician specialist licensure. And this is something that we've supported from the Cattlemen standpoint, because we all know a lot of producers are having hard times finding large animal veterinarians to come out in emergency situations, and even, you know, just general health situations to help our producers. This position would allow a veterinarian to hire an a veterinary technician specialist to help them do things such as you know, pregnancy determination, palpation, a host of different things that would be good for our producers. They do it under the supervision of a veterinarian, and they have to be licensed. It's about it'll be a 4-year program at one of our state colleges, hopefully. So we supported that. That passed out of the committee, and we'll be headed to the House floor for a vote soon. We'll continue to watch for that, along with other legislation that is still being drafted and stuff right now. Thursday, yesterday, the House was just, doing a few more organizational meetings and stuff in committees, so it was a pretty cut and dry day. They adjourned yesterday morning, and we'll be out until next Tuesday, January the 22nd. They'll be observing MLK Day Monday, so they will not meet until next Tuesday. So next Tuesday morning, I'll be back to the Capitol. The staff will be back to the Capitol watching legislation, visiting with our legislature and our representatives and senators to make sure that your interests are looked after and protected, and the cattle industry here in Arkansas is there represented. So if you have any questions, certainly encourage you to reach out to us here at the ACA head office in Little Rock. Be glad to visit with you on any items of concern you may see going through the legislature. I encourage you, if you want to watch the proceedings, both the House and the Senate proceedings are streamed live every day. That's the first time that the Senate's done this. Now, the House has done this for a number of years. This is the first year the Senate has streamed their proceedings. So I encourage you to be involved in the process, and just pay attention to what's going on at the Capitol. We're here for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, 501-224-2114, or my email is cody@arbeef.org. Be glad to help you any way we can. Y'all have a good weekend.